Alright, YouTubers, if you can hear that, that is my propane alarm going off. Probably can't hear it very well because I got a bunch of stuff plugged up under there. I'll go outside and show you something. Alright, I'm going to start this by saying I'm not a mechanic, but I'm not an idiot either. Well, at least I don't think I am. So what I'm going to try to do is explain something as somebody who's just trying to use common sense to figure things out. As I was driving back yesterday from my long RV trip, that propane alarm started going off. Now, I didn't smell anything, and I climbed back there. You know, I had all kinds of stuff, so it was a very difficult place to get to in a Class B. And I thought there might be some leaking from the propane tank in this area. So I closed the valve, and I kept driving, but the alarm won't shut up. It won't reset either. You know, I reset it, it goes on, it stops for a minute, and then it comes back on. I don't smell any propane. So what I'm going to try to do now is do process of elimination. First thing any Class B owner is going to tell you that getting to things is tough. So what I want to check is to see if it's a fuse or power issue to that sensor, because it will not reset. So took the cover off, and my CO2 LPG is number 8. It's a 5 amp fuse. Let me see if I can get it out of there. Alright, it shut off. I took the fuse. The fuse looks okay. It's showing me as yellow. And most of these things have, you know, they don't last forever. Something like this doesn't last forever. Now, it's important to say that I opened this whole RV up, you know, and I don't smell any gas. I'm kind of colorblind, but to me that looks like it needs to be replaced. At the same time, I also believe I could possibly, there we go, I could possibly have a leak. All right, I pulled the fuse. And again, the fuse is good. Oh, I got power to it. And seriously, the hardest thing is getting to shit in these RVs. So I have this that I think matches up with those. I'm going to see if I can, you might get to see it, you might not. All right, I actually got it off of there. All right, and these all have, this is May 2003. The life of these is 5-10 years, something like that. You know, that was 14 years ago. So we might need a new one of these. And see if I can order a new one and do it myself. All right, there's the front cover. Get the screws out of it. I've never taken one of these apart before. And those are hardwired onto this board. So I'm going to try to just get them up here. There's a lot of cable here. So I'll undo that clip. All right, so there's the case. There's the back. There's the innards. See if I can order one of these. Okay, so I took it all apart. I checked online. It looks like Amazon wasn't even the cheapest, and most everybody else charges shipping. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to plug it back in. You know, I cleaned it a little bit. I'm going to plug it back in and put the fuse back in and see if it works. Do I expect it to work? Of course not, but you never know. I was working on my blower motor for my AC under the dash, and I took it apart and cleaned it, and it worked again. So let's put the fuse in. Same thing again. You never know, so you try, you know? I'm going to open this back up, and I'm going to open the valve. I know that the sensor's bad. I know that that propane sensor needs to be replaced because it's going orange and it won't reset. Take the cover off the propane water heater. Turn that on. It just kicked on. Friendly reminder, I don't know what I'm doing. But luckily I've got a fire extinguisher not that far away, but I don't see anything that looks like a leak. So I'm going to leave the valve open. So with propane being a gas, you usually don't see leaking. That's what kind of made it rough for me. But I did believe I saw a leak yesterday when I was driving and when I got back. Give it a chance to see what's going to happen. I just shut it off. So that ran good 5 minutes. And I don't see anything that looks like a leak. there's something weird. Alright, I see fluid there, obviously. So I crawled under here. I don't know if you can see, but that hole is that refrigerator thing I was talking about before, that it got clogged up once. So maybe there was enough water in it that, see, it's dripping out of there. Maybe that's where it was coming from. Interesting. As I'm putting the RV on, getting it where it sits where it's supposed to be. Alright. I think that solves the confusion. I ordered a replacement online and now we're going to install it. So there's a new one, but they don't give you the whole harness, so you got to connect the wires up to your old harness. Shouldn't be too difficult. I've got it all put back together, the new one, and I'm going to fish it back in there and attach it. I let it run for about 2 days, and no alarms, no nothing. It's all good. So let me see if I can get it in there. Get in there. Get in there. Alright, I gotta move the camera. You're gonna have to trust me. Alright, all reconnected. My propane's all good. This alarm lasted longer than they usually do, so I'm not really complaining. I like to remind myself that the chances of the propane actually leaking and the sensor failing at the exact same time are like, it's not gonna happen. So, tested everything well, except with the manometer, but I think it's safe to say for the current time, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna call this project done. I think we're good. I don't think there's a need to check the whole propane system at this point. Maybe it would be a good idea in the future, but at this point, I think we're good. Have a great and wonderful day. Remind yourself that simple projects like this are not very difficult.